I'm not a huge fan of free-to-play mobile-style games, but I did play quite a bit of Fallout Shelter just due to the fact I love Fallout so much. And now that the game's come over to console, PS4 and Nintendo Switch in particular, I'm now going to be checking it out once again. But is this vault worth diving deep into, or should these doors just stay locked? Fallout Shelter is very much a free-to-play mobile-style game. That means a lot of microtransaction, loot boxes in the form of lunch boxes, and other various items that you see in similar ways in many mobile games, such as the Nuka-Cola Quantums here being an item to speed up progress. The game is very much a free-to-play setup as far as its gameplay styles. You'll be able to do a fair amount, but eventually you'll hit that wall and you'll want, or at least feel like you should, maybe grab the wallet and spend some real money. At that point, of course, you can easily just turn the game off for a little bit, come back in an hour or two, and you'll probably have a few extra things to do so you can keep playing. It's one of those games that's not the greatest to just sit down and try to binge play for a while, unless you're actually going to be ponying up that real cash to buy lots of different lunchboxes for the rare items in order to keep questing and keep making progress. Your goal is to build up your vault and be able to have enough dwellers in there to unlock all the rooms that you can potentially use in order to get various supplies, build new equipment, and of course also build up the stats of your various vault dwellers. The game has a fair amount of things to kind of keep track of. You have 3 basic resources, power, water, and food, that you always have to manage and make sure that you're able to keep above the minimal line, or else things start to shut down and your people start to get angry at you. Every room will use one of the various stats in a character's repertoire, the special stats that you're very familiar with from the Fallout universe. You'll use those to dictate where you should or shouldn't put your civilians inside your vault in order to maximize your progress. It's very much a micromanagement style of game. The only real issue is it won't be too long when you start playing before you hit that wall where you'll start to feel like you should spend some money or start to get angry at the fact you can't progress because you're not spending real money. If you're someone who easily can get to that point, turn off the game and come back in a few hours and play again for a few more hours and keep enjoying it without having to spend real money, you'll probably get the best experience. But if you're looking to just sit down and play the game for 8-10 hours straight, you're either going to start to get frustrated at constantly hitting walls that you're not unable to progress without spending money or waiting, or just end up ponying up the cash to get the items that you need so that you can keep playing. It's one of those games that has a lot of risk and reward and a lot of percentages to kind of gamble with. Basically, your rooms create the various resources, whether it be medical supplies or water. And anytime that you need that extra bit of water or medical supply real quick, you can decide to rush the room. There's a percentage, of course, depending upon your citizens that are in there and their stats, for failing that. And if you fail, there will be an invasion of rad roaches, mole rats, or just catching the whole place on fire. Your vault can also be attacked by raiders or even death claws, so you'll of course want to equip armor as well as weapons to your citizens. If you played Fallout Shelter near the beginning, you may not have been playing when they actually eventually added animals or pets to the game, so you can also equip those, so every one of your citizens can have an equipable weapon, equipable armor, and an equipable pet that also will give them an increase in their stats. The best thing though added to Fallout Shelter from its original launch besides the pets is the Overseer's office and the questing. Now you're able to set out a team of 3 of your vault dwellers and send them out into the wasteland to a specific location that you'll then get to explore and look for supplies. If you played the game This War of Mine on PC or console in the last couple of years, it's very reminiscent of that as far as looking around and scavenging for items and dealing with various people inside of those buildings. So, since I love that game so much, I like the questing quite a bit here. You're also able to just send people out into the wasteland, just like you could from the original version of Fallout Shelter, in order to just fight random people and potentially gain other supplies to bring back to your vault. The quests that you'll get to complete change up on a regular basis and their locations, with a bunch of stuff from the more modern Fallout universe being included. And this also means vault dwellers that you can potentially get from lunchboxes being special dwellers that are random citizens from the various Fallout games, which I always thought was a nice touch. From the technical side of things, I didn't run into any major issues. There was a couple minor bugs here and there, and the game did crash on one occasion, but thankfully my save was not affected by it. The overall control scheme takes a bit to get used to in this version because you're not using just the touchscreen or to touch everything to activate it, grab your supplies, or even deal with your citizens, but once you get the hang of it using the PS4 controller, it works pretty well. It doesn't work perfectly, but it's not awful. Fallout Shelter is available now for free on the PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, PC, and mobile devices. It does have a Platinum Trophy on the PS4. Overall, if you've been playing Fallout Shelter on your mobile device for a while, it's the same game here on console. It just has a new kind of control scheme, of course, since you're using your controller, but other than that, it's the same game. If you haven't played Fallout Shelter at all, or you only played it near the beginning, there has been a fair amount added to it, and the game feels much more like a game now than it did at launch, where it was more of just kind of a clicker with a few little Fallout touches. For a free mobile-style game, it's pretty enjoyable. It doesn't overly annoy me with microtransactions being thrown at me every couple of seconds. From the few mobile games I have played that I actually got into and played for more than maybe, let's say, a few hours, this is probably one of my favorites. With that said, I'm going to be giving the game a 7 out of 10, but of course it's free, so if you play it for a little bit, don't like it, don't like the microtransaction part, just go ahead and delete it. You're not really going to lose too much out by giving this game a small download, and it won't take up much space either on your hard drive. But anyway guys, it's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.